welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. It's Kelly here, and today we are so excited to be introducing our brand new stamp set, Little Woodland Library Friends. It's coordinating dies and it's coordinating coloring stencils. Little Woodland Library Friends is so cute, and it's a perfect companion to our Little Woodland Library stamp set. I love mixing and matching these two together. We're also going to be introducing our Tada Diorama Scalloped Window Add-On. This is so amazing to use with the Tada Diorama. It gives you a new style of window and some fun little elements that you can incorporate into your Tada dioramas. So let's go ahead and check out all of these new things. First up, we have our Little Woodland Library Friends stamp set. It has this super cute bunny with glasses reading a book, and then this little hedgehog. It has my heart. This cute little duo of turtles, which is so sweet, and they're really fun for reading this open book that's in the original Little Woodland Library stamp set, or you can also have him like kind of reading behind the other guys that have their books, which I think is so super cute. We have this fun stack of books, and then of course a cute little bookworm, and a little heart that you can stamp around these characters. We also have some fun new little phrases. Here's to a new chapter. We also have some bunny loves to read. I turtly love books. And also, I want to hedgehog this book, which is my personal favorite. We also have yay, and the phrase, no one stacks up to you, which just makes me smile. And also, hope your day is one for the books. Now it's time to add some color to these fun images. Right now I am using my Copic markers, but any alcohol markers you have, colored pencils, a watercolor, or also coloring stencils are a great way to color in images. And I'll show you the coloring stencils in just a little bit. But right now I am using my markers here, and I just think these characters are so cute. The bunny with the glasses is just so super adorable, and I absolutely love the hedgehog. My son loves hedgehogs, and his favorite stuffed animal is Beetle the hedgehog. So I love that we can have Beetle reading a book. It just makes me smile. And so here you can see I'm using a darker brown for the outside of the hedgehog, and then a lighter brown for the inside, and of course giving some rosy cheeks. Also for the glasses, I like using a very light blue or blue-green marker just to go over the glasses just a little bit. I feel like it looks really nice and gives them a pop on the different characters. For the turtles, I like doing a different color for their shells than their body. So here I have more of like an olivey green for their shells, and then I'm going to do a bright green for the body, which I think is so much fun. I love these little guys. They're just adorable. And I love the little turtle on top kind of reading over his mom's shoulder. So we're going to add some nice bright green for the bottom, and then a little bit of that turquoise there for the glasses that I'm just going to blend out. And I did a little bit of light green on the glasses too, so that there was kind of like a little reflection of the green of the turtle. Now for the stack of books, I'm using the same colors that I used to color the books for the other characters, so that everything is just going to kind of mix and match. And I love adding colors to these books because you can really make them like in a rainbow color, or just bring in the colors from the pattern paper you might be using on your card. I just think these are so much fun for setting the scene. And so I brought in the pink and the turquoise from the other books, and then here I brought in this nice kind of gray blue there to just add a little bit of a different look. Now for this little worm, I decided to use these blue-violet colors, and I think it just looks so pretty. And then of course a little bit of that turquoise there onto the glasses. Now these are the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to snip. You can hold them in place with some low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and you'll have perfectly cut out images every time. And look how adorable these images are. Oh my gosh, they just make me smile. You can mix and match them for cute little scenes, like having the little worm there hanging out with the hedgehog, or that turtle reading over the little bunny's shoulder there. I think that's so cute. I also like the look of the little bunny and the hedgehog reading next to each other. Now here are the coloring stencils. You can see that it is a set of 4 stencils, and they all have these great etch guidelines that make it really easy to line these up. So all you need to do is just line it up with your stamped image, and then just brush on some ink to add some color. Here I'm using some sugar cookie ink for the bunny, which is a nice light brown, and then some pink for the ears and nose. For the glasses, I'm going to take just a little bit of a light blue there. It was whatever was left on my brush, just to add a little bit of color. And then now for the book here, I'm adding some purple. You can see just with one color of ink, I can get this beautifully shaded look just by starting at the bottom of the stencil and working my way up. Now here we're going to do the little hedgehog. I'm going to use the darker brown for the outside of him, and then a lighter brown, that same sugar cookie that I used for the bunny, for the inside of the hedgehog. And you can see I'm just building up some of the color towards the bottom and letting it fade out towards the top to get that nice shaded look. some pink for his ears, and then a little bit of that light blue over the glasses. I'm going to use a bright pink for her book. And then for the book's pages, I like to use a very light brown or very light gray. In this case, because my character had light brown, I used a little bit of a light gray for the pages. And I think these guys are just so adorable. And in the coordinating coloring stencils, we have a coloring stencil for every single image in the set. And now Shari is going to combine these cute critters with the heart tree for the most adorable cards. So take it away, Shari.
So I wanted to create a card using the new Little Woodland Library Friends. They're just so cute. With one of my favorite stamps from the last release, which is the heart tree, because I thought it would be so adorable for these little guys to be reading under the tree outside. So I've already colored and cut out my images, and then I will be using some Bitsy Blooms Forget-Me-Not paper for my sky, and some pint-sized pattern summertime paper for my grass. I'm cutting both of these out using the outside in stitch rectangle so we get that beautiful stitching detail around the edges. For the green piece, I'm just cutting the bottom, and then I'm using one of the simple stitched hillsides to cut the top of my hill. And I'm just putting my tree on here for some placement so I know how high up to cut my little hill, and I'll just run that through my die cut machine. Now that I have a cute little hill for my tree to sit on, I need a cute little sentiment to go on it as well. So I'm using the sentiment from this set that says, "No one stacks up to you." I think that's really fun. And I am just going to stamp it directly on to the pattern paper. This would also be really cute on a little sentiment banner. Then I can add my pieces to my card base to start and create my scene. So since I used that largest outside in stitch rectangle, I'm going to get that little white border around all the edges. For the grass, I'm popping this up with some foam tape so we have some nice dimension off the background. And this is going to give me some nice dimension for my elements as well. I am also going to pop the tree up off the background so it can sit on the hill, and I think that this really makes it stand out on the card. So I have all my little foam squares on the back. I will add a little bit of liquid glue right at the bottom where the trunk hits the ground, so it will hold that in place. And then once I have my centerpiece, which is that beautiful heart tree, I can start to add my other elements. For the books, I used some thin foam squares, so it is popped up off that pattern paper, but not as thick as the squares used for the tree. And I'm also adding this cute little bird standing on top of the books, which I just think is so cute. I have some other little birds from the heart tree set that I'm going to add up here in the sky, flying around. And now for my cute little critters doing some reading. So this little hedgehog with his glasses is just the most adorable thing. I'm adding some thin foam squares to the bottom so that it can be popped up on that hillside. Then up at his head where it hits the sky, I'm actually double stacking the foam squares. So I have a full thickness foam square and a thin one so that that is supported where it goes all the way back to the card base. I will do the same thing with the cute little bunny. Oh, and I actually forgot to color inside his ears. Whoops. So for the little bunny, I will do the same technique with the thin foam squares on the bottom where he will sit on the hill, and then stacking the square on his head where it hits the sky. And he is going to sit on the other side of the tree. And he's going to have a little friend reading along with him, which is this cute little worm. He's just kind of looking over his shoulder at the book as well. Now for some glitter, I'm adding some glitter to the heart. You could also stamp one of the cute little sayings inside the heart. And then I'm adding some glitter to the tree. As you can see, I colored my leaves in two different colors, a darker green and a lighter green. I'm using that coloring as a guide, and I'm only putting glitter on the light green leaves. There's also the fun stamps in this set, like the little words, so I stamped yay with my little bird, and there is a solid heart as well, and I'm going to stamp that around in the sky with some guava ink. And then here is the finished card with those adorable, cute little Woodland Library friends reading under the tree on a beautiful spring day.
I am so in love with this card, Shari. It's so cute, and I love how the little Woodland Library friends are perfect with the heart tree. And now it's time to take a look at our Tada Diorama add-on. Now here is our Tada Diorama Scalloped Window Add-on. It has the scalloped window and all these fun party things. We have this cute little banner and some pennants you can layer over top, some fun balloons with different styles of strings, and 2 little stars as well. Now we're going to go ahead and create a Tada diorama to show you how this window works. And if you've never made a Tada diorama before, make sure to check out the intro video. We'll link it in the description below. We went ahead and die cut the main panel, and now we're going to use this window. And that's what's so fun about the Tada diorama is it comes with a window, but now we've created these fun different shaped window add-ons so you can get different looks. So we're going to line that up in the center, hold it in place with some low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and now we have this beautiful scalloped window for the Tada diorama. Next, we're going to cut 2 of the side panels. These are all dies that are included in the original Tada diorama. And then we're going to be using the slot creators. And you'll see that there's 2 of them, and they've got these little slots. You're going to put it between the 2 score lines there, and then you're going to have that little foot piece point towards the larger panel. So it's in between the 2 score lines, and it's pointing towards the larger panel of those. Then we're going to run that through the die cut machine. Now we can do the same on the other piece. We're going to die cut another side panel, and we're going to use the other one. And again, we're going to put it in between those 2 score lines, and then we're going to have that little foot point towards that bigger panel. We'll hold it in place with some low-tack tape, and then we'll run it through the die cut machine. And now we'll have the slots in the correct placement there. Now here we have some more of that pint-sized patterns paper, and we're going to die cut that with that main panel piece again. And this one we're just going to leave plain. That's going to be our base. Now on these side panels, what we're going to do is we are going to fold along those score lines. So the die created 2 score lines for you, and we're going to fold along those. And once again, if you've never made a Tada diorama, make sure to check out that intro video. Then once we have those side panels folded, we're going to use our bone folder to make sure that they are nice and sharp, and we're going to do that on both of the pieces. Next, we're going to add some adhesive to that skinniest panel there on the right. So we're going to add some adhesive there, and then once we do that, we're going to fold this panel in half along that score line. Then you're going to make sure that those slots are at the bottom. So you can see they're at the bottom, and then we're just going to line that up with the edge of the Tada diorama, just like that. So just line it up with the edge, and then just center it. You'll see that there's a little bit peeking out towards the top and the bottom, and that's exactly how you want it to look. Then we'll take our second piece, and once again, we're going to add some adhesive to that small panel, the smallest one. And then we can go ahead and line it up, making sure that those little slots are at the bottom. And now you can just kind of butt it up against the other one because that'll make sure that they're nice and even, and you'll press down and that'll secure it in place. And then here you can start to see the movement of the Tada diorama. Now, I wanted those panels to have a different color than what's going to be on the inside of the Tada diorama, so we're just going to trim down some pattern paper to be the same size as those panels, and we're going to layer that over top. And we're staying in that same pattern paper collection, so everything lines up so beautifully. So here you can see we just measured those little panels, and we just trimmed down a piece, and we're going to add that on, and then we're going to do that with this other one. And that's going to give us the color blue on the outside, and then as you open it up, you're going to get the fun surprise of those colorful polka dots. Now here are these little bands, and this piece again is included in the original Tada diorama, and we're going to die cut 2 of those out of some white cardstock. Now that die creates some fold lines for you at the top and the bottom, and so we're going to fold back along those lines. And we're going to do the same thing for both of these pieces. Then we're going to add some adhesive on those little tabs that we just created by folding those score lines. So we're going to add it both at the top and the bottom of each of these bands. Then we can fold back along those score lines. We're going to flip our window over, and we're going to layer the band there. So you'll see there's that little notch there. It's going to line up with the notch on the Tada diorama window piece. And once that lines up there, we can just press down and secure that in place. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So we're going to fold along those score lines just like that. And then we can go ahead and line up the little rounded piece with the rounded part of the window. And we're just going to secure that in place. Now the next thing we need to do is grab one of the inserts. This is the insert from the original Tada diorama, and we're going to die cut that from some white cardstock too. And you'll see that it creates score lines for you at the top and the bottom of those little pieces, and so we're going to fold back along those. Now we're going to be adding this piece into the Tada diorama. And so what we're going to do is we're going to feed it through the black slot, and once we feed it through, we can open up those little tabs, and that's going to help hold it in place, just like that. Then we can take the next one, we can feed it through the back slot on the right side, And then once we have that, just like we did for the other one, we're going to open up those little tabs that we folded, and that's going to help secure it in place. Then it's time to add a window. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and take that panel and feed it through the band that we added to the back of the window, just like that. And then we can do that on the other side. And that's going to be adding the window to our interactive three-dimensional Tada diorama. And so now you can see it's a flat card that you can send easily through the mail. And when you open it up, it's this amazing three-dimensional scene. So now we need to decorate, and we're going to use a brand new stamp set that's called Simply Celebrate Hangouts. And it has these cool hangouts that are perfect for all of our different Simply Celebrate characters. And so this one's like a little banquet table, which is so cute. And so we went ahead and added some adhesive to the back of that, and we're just going to layer that right over that panel that we added in there. And so that's going to add our decoration onto the panel. Then we need to add some critters. So we're going to take out Simply Celebrate critters here, and we have these cute little characters here. I love these forest critters. And so we decided to just color 3 of them. We just trimmed off the excess. We're going to add some adhesive towards the bottom of them, and now we can layer them onto the banquet table, and now it looks like they're having like a fun little birthday party. Isn't that so cute? I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I just love the three-dimensional look and how fun this is for a party. So now we're going to be using the little banner that's included in the Tada Diorama Scalloped Window Add-On. And so you can see there's these little individual pennants, and then there's the actual pennants. And so you could add color just with pattern paper to these, or you can take these little individual ones and add color to them with colored cardstock, pattern paper, or with your markers, and then layer them over top. And that's what we're going to do here. And so we're going to color these in colors to match the beautiful rainbow paper that we've been using so that it gets this fun, kind of bright, happy, rainbowy look. Then all you need to do is just add some liquid glue to those pennants, and then we can layer our colorful ones over top for a really fun look. Then once those are done, we're actually going to take off the window piece because it's going to be easier to add the decoration without it being attached to the whole Tada diorama. And we're just going to add some adhesive to the ends of the banner, and now you can layer them to the back of the window. And this is going to give some really cool dimensions. So we're just going to layer those there, kind of one going one way, and then we could take the other one and have it kind of swoop the other way, which I think is super cute. So we'll add some adhesive to those ends and then layer those behind like that. And then, of course, this is a fun birthday, so we also need some balloons. So we went ahead and die cut the balloons that are included in this Tada Diorama Scalloped Window, and we die cut those from some pattern papers, again, that match this whole collection, and then we die cut the strings from some white cardstock. And so we're just going to add some adhesive onto the balloons, and then we can layer those onto this window. And then we can easily kind of add those little strings by tucking them behind the balloons. The next thing that we need is a sentiment. So we're going to be using this stitched wavy banner that's actually included in the Tada Diorama Heart Window Add-on, or you could use another banner from your stash. And we're going to be using here this Henry's Build a Sentiment to get the perfect sentiment here. And I love using the Henry's Build a Sentiment, especially for the wavy style, because they're really, really easy to bend on the block and create the perfect little phrase. And so this is going to say, "Happy birthday to you." And we'll just line that up and then kind of pick it up with the block. And then you can just kind of move those a little bit to create the curve that you need. Then we can ink it up with some black licorice ink, and we're going to stamp onto this wavy banner and have this perfect sentiment. Then all we need to do is just add some adhesive to the back of this, and then we're just going to layer that right there onto the window. And I really like that at the bottom. I think it looks super cute. And now we can just take this whole piece and feed the side panels through just like we did before. And now this card is all done. As you open it up, look how cute. I absolutely love those new Simply Celebrate hangouts. And this fun window is so awesome. The little banners layered in front really give it so much dimension. And I love the surprise of the critters inside. Like, you really don't know what it's going to be. I also love Tada Diorama cards because they do fold flat and you can put them in a standard envelope, but then you get this amazing three-dimensional design, and it also just looks so cute on somebody's mantle. Next up, Shari is going to show you a different way to use this new add-on. So take it away, Shari.
So today I'm creating a Tada card, and I have cut out my little hill inserts from some green spiffy speckles paper. I have gone ahead and cut the panels that we pull from some pint-sized patterns summertime, and now I need to cut the back panel and the front panel, and I will be using the new Tada Diorama Scalloped Window Add-on. For the background panel, I don't need to cut the window, so I am cutting it from the Forget Me Not paper from Bitsy Blooms. I just think that this is such a fun paper to use for like a sky because it has those light flowers just floating around. I just think it's so much fun. And then for the front panel, I'm using this pink with the little stars from the Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime collection. And I will take that new Scalloped Window Add-on and center it up in this panel and just run both through the die cut machine at the same time to create my front panel with the window. So here's what that new scalloped window looks like. We get the scallop window and that fun stitching detail around the outside edge. Now I do need to cut the little slots in my panels that I cut from the yellow paper. I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score lines a little bit so I can see where to line up these funny little boot shaped pieces. So you want the toe of the boot to point towards the large panel, which in this case is on the left, and we want those little arrows to line up and point towards the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on here. I like to do both at the same time so that I know they're in the right place and I can kind of visualize it. So again, with the toe towards the large panel, which in this case is on the right, and the arrows at the bottom. And then when I run that through the die cut machine, I get those little slots for my hillsides to go in. For this Tada card, I am using the little Woodland Library Friends. I've already colored and cut them out, and I will just set them to the side while I assemble my Tada diorama. Here are the little pieces that go on the back of the front panel to hold my panels that slide. I am reinforcing the folds on those two yellow panels. And I need to add those yellow pieces to my background panels. So I will put adhesive on the smallest part of the fold. So on that little section there that is on the other side of the slots, that is going to adhere right to that background panel. And I will do the same on this side. We want to make sure those slots are both at the bottom. And then I can grab my little hillsides, and I like to fold the tabs down actually towards the front, which I kind of forgot that I like to do that. The reason why I like to fold them towards the front is for me, it's a little easier to push them down and get them through the slot and open them up that way. But it really doesn't matter how you fold them, just fold them down, slide them through the slot, and then open them back up, and it will hold the hillside in place. And then I'm doing the same to the other one. So folding those tabs down, sliding it through the slot, and then opening them back up. So now I have my cute little hillsides, and then I need to put these pieces on the back of my front panel, putting a little bit of adhesive on the part that I folded back. And I'll line up the notch with the notch on that front panel and just stick them down. These could be cut from any paper that you wanted. You never really see these. This is just where those yellow panels will slide through and it creates some slots. So I want to go ahead and add some of my pieces to the inside before I put the front panel on. I have this stack of books and I'm going to put the cute little worm on top of the stack of books. And he is going to go on that back hillside, and my little bunny is going to go on the front. And I'm putting them kind of towards the center so that I make sure my Tada diorama closes. For the front, I'm adding the cute little turtle with the little baby turtle on top, which I just think is adorable, and my little hedgehog that's reading a book. And I'm making sure to only put adhesive where these little critters will overlap the frame. Now I'm flipping it over and I'm sliding those yellow panels through those slots I created. And this will create my Tada diorama. So we just pull those little tabs and ta-da, we have a cute little diorama. Now I wasn't sure where I wanted a sentiment on the front of this, so I thought it would be fun to add one of the little speech bubbles from all the speech bubbles and one of the tiny sentiments in this set. This one says, "Here's to a new chapter," which is perfect for a congrats card. And I am just adding a little adhesive and lining this up back in the background right onto the back panel so it looks like it's coming from the little worm. Now when the Tada is closed, I felt like it was very plain and I still needed something on those panels. And I wasn't sure what I wanted until I remembered we have this big bold congrats in the new Simply Celebrate graduation set. And it has a die, which makes it perfect. So I stamped it in black ink on some purple spiffy speckles paper, and then I cut it with the coordinating die. For my card base, I'm using a piece of Bitsy Blooms. I love that white with the rainbow hatching. And so I've put that on the card base. I've cut it a little smaller so I have that border around the sides. And then I'm cutting my congrats in half so that I can put one side on one panel and one side on the other. So when the Tada is closed, I have a full word, and then when it's open, they split in the middle. And this worked perfectly with that die cut. I could cut right between the letters and it didn't look funny at all. Now I can take my whole Tada mechanism, adding some liquid glue to the back, and I'm putting this right on to that card base with that white paper. So when our card is closed, it's nice and simple, and then it opens up to those cute little critters inside. I just think it's so much fun.
This is so adorable, Shari, and I love how the sentiment splits in half. It is just so much fun and how it reveals our adorable little Woodland Library friends. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And first up, this card by Elena just blew me away. I absolutely love her reading critters, and she brought one of the new Simply Celebrate Hangouts in to be the perfect area for them to be reading on. This Tada diorama card by Grace is absolutely stunning. I love this little party, and as you open it up, you get the cute little tea party. Oh my gosh, it just makes me smile. I love how she added the banners and the balloons too. This card by Tammy just blew me away. She created a cute little clipboard, and I love the little reading critters with the worm and the apple. Oh, it's just perfect. This Tada diorama card by Maureen is so sweet. I love how she put the tree on the front, and as you open it up, you get the surprise of our little Woodland Library friends, and I love the little Woodland Library in the background. Here you can see these cute little bookmarks. I love the giant stack of books with the characters on top. It is just so sweet. This card by Megan is absolutely adorable. She incorporated one of the new Simply Celebrate Hangouts to create the perfect library for these characters. And this card by Mindy is so fun. I love how she took this scallop window add-on with the party theme and turned it into a graduation theme. It is just so adorable and so sweet. This card here by Audrey is just adorable. I love how it feels like there's like a wallpaper in the background and the cute little hedgehog reading on the rug. I just can't. It's so sweet. And here I love how Letitia used that scallop window add-on as just a cool window on her card. It's such a fun way to use this new die. The book collection dies are a perfect match for the little Woodland Library friends, and this rainbowy card just makes me smile. And then this one here is so sweet. I love all the little characters mixed and matched with the original little Woodland Library characters, and we added a Simply Celebrate Hangout in there too. So we cannot wait to see what your awesome library cards and your amazing Tada dioramas look like, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!